Third time lucky filming this video. So I wanted to do a recording today because I have finished my art course a few months ago now, which is fantastic. Yay! And what I did realize was while I was doing that course, working full time, it was too much for me to upload videos to YouTube. So hence I did a couple and then I just physically couldn't do it. And I wanted to focus on completing the art course because that was the biggest focus for me. So I have recorded or attempted to record this 3 times, and the sound has been not very good. So I am trying a microphone now, so hopefully it's working better. But today what I wanted to do was just to touch on what I'm doing now, and an update on a small project that has come out of that course. And then eventually I will go through all of the pieces that I did during that course, but today's not that day. So, like I said, I finished that course a few months ago now, and I'm just stoked that I was able to do that even while I was working. So having the opportunity to have a hybrid art course that allowed me to work full time and complete the course was really good. And it was really helpful for me to create a art habit. So obviously it's not to the same level that I was when I was studying, when I had assignments due, but it has given me the ability to keep an art practice at least weekly. So that's been, I can't express how important that's actually been, because I think I fell into a trap of working full time and then feeling like I didn't have enough time to do art at all, and so I didn't do anything, which defeats the purpose of being creative. Um, One of the last units that we did do was focused on drawing, and one of the pieces that I created was using a cubist style, and that I'll show you in a minute. But that style of drawing and creating art really I found really useful for me. It was something that I could do without too much extra mental pressure that I put on myself. It's no one else. Um, but I really enjoyed the process of doing that. And that's my bird Ruby, and she's in one of the pieces that you'll see very soon. Um, so the piece that I did for the course, so this was obviously in pencil. This is based on my dog Harley, and I really enjoyed overlapping the images and creating a bit of an abstract piece. And I've got a lot of pencils behind me and all over this studio, um, but I got a 12 pencil set from the course, and so I stuck with using that. Um, and I just had a lot of fun doing this piece. I did some other pieces for the unit, but this piece in particular, I wanted to continue on creating some different pictures using the same cube style and using the 12 pencils. And so my mini project has been, how many pieces can I create to use up those 12 pencils? So the 12 pencil set is a Prismacolor Premier set. Oops. And I've created 3 other pieces, including that, or excluding that piece that I just showed you. And here's what the pencils are looking like now. I actually don't know how many pieces it will take me to use up the pencils, but I'm just curious. I have a plethora of art supplies, and I think this little small project is going to help me realize how long using things up takes. I already do a lot of project panning with makeup, and I know that it's amazing how long an item can take to finish up. But I don't think I've ever done one with art materials, and given the amount of art materials I actually already own, I would like to see how long it would take me to use up 12 pencils. I have a number of 72 sets of pencils already. So if it takes me 12 pieces to use up 12 pencils, that means I've probably got like 10 lifetimes worth of pencils for me to get through. And not that I expect to get through them all, but it's a way of reminding myself, rather than looking at a new set of pencils or art materials, that I really need to focus on what I already have. Unless, of course, it's for a specific medium of some sort. But I can't even think what that would be right now. So the other pieces, after I finished the course, I continued on with that Cubist style. And this is probably one of my favourite pieces that I've done. So this is Ruby, who you would have heard, I believe the video would have picked it up. So Ruby's an eclectus parrot, and she is a wonderful ball of energy, and I love her dearly. And this piece is her bouncing around the cage, running around the house. I'll just go into one of the pictures of her so you can sort of see. But I do really like this piece. I like the colours, and I think I like the idea of the birds with all the feathers, and you know, birds do tend to move around fast. This one I think I might paint up onto a canvas, so that's a possibility, but we'll see. But that's the picture number 2 that I did, and I really do love that piece. Piece number 3 was just playing around. It wasn't anything that I was really focused on, but it's based on the houseplants and the colours of the trees and plants and leaves and everything like that. And while the composition isn't my favourite, I really do like the different shades of colours that I was able to create with just 12 pencils. So I really like the mauve and the pale orange, and just how the colours have sort of played out in this piece. So that's piece number 3. And then piece number 4 is based on my cat Meep. So she passed away a couple of years ago. I'll just go in a little bit. So this piece is a bit more abstract for sure, but this is the first piece I've been able to create for my cat. She lived for about 21 years, so she was with me since she was a little kitten, and she passed away sadly of cancer a few years ago. But this is the first piece I've been able to sit down and actually look through old photos of her without feeling too emotional about it. But I do also like this piece. I think the style is definitely more abstract, but I just like how this one's turned out. So they're the 4 pieces that I've completed with the 12 set. So obviously that 12 set of pencils wasn't brand new when I did the first piece of Harley. I was using those pieces. I was using those pencils in the course. But you can see, well, I can already see that, you know, there's a lot of pencils in 12. I'm currently working on a 5th piece, which is based on astrology, which is another interest of mine. So it's an Aries piece. I should be able to put in some footage of me drawing that here. But so I'm possibly going to be doing a horoscope series with these pencils, but like I said, I'm curious just to see how long it will take me to use up 12 pencils. Maybe it will be 12 pieces. I don't know. But yeah, that's a bit of a side interest, just to see how long it takes me. I know everybody's style in drawing is different, so obviously if you use pencils in a different way to me, you might get more or less. But really it was about, for me to go, okay, 12 pencils might take me 12 pieces. It might take 20. I'm trying to keep the sizes the same. So this is an A4 size, so that it's at least consistent on that. So we'll see what happens, and that might just be a regular update just to see how it goes. The other things that I've been working on, I am working on a commission piece at the moment, which is a portrait. I haven't got permission to share that one, but that's in a, realistic style. So we'll see where that goes. But if I get permission at the end, I'll share it. But if not, that just has to be there. That's, a portrait of some people. It's not my favourite style of painting or drawing, but it's something that I used to do when I finished high school. And I did actually sell a few pieces, which is, nice to have. But it's just not something that I have to say at the moment I feel is what I fully want to do. But, it doesn't hurt just to get back into the habit of creating art. It's good to sort of keep going. The other small project that I'm aiming to work on probably over the summer, we're obviously in spring here in Australia and summer's just around the corner. I have a big collection of eyeshadows, and I already project pan those, which is obviously using them up, which is also the inspiration for using up the 12 pencils. But what I did probably at least 6 months ago was I actually printed off or took photos of all of the eyeshadows and printed off each shade and name if it had it. So because I just found that, when you look at, I think the same with art materials, when you look at the entire palette of something, you're attracted to the color story it might be, but the reality is you might already have 50 shades of the same color. So maybe not 50, maybe some do. I don't have 50, but there are some colors that are definitely overlapping in the number of eyeshadow palettes I have. And I wanted a visual way to track that. So I've taken a lot of photos, but for me, I would like to see a collage of the different colors. So I've got a visual representation, and I thought, why not make it a piece of art as well? So these aren't all of them. I've got more in another little makeup drawer somewhere, but that's, a bit of fun collaging them. So, and then, tracking how I'm going using them, if I'm using them, if they go off before I get to use them, as a way of just tracking for myself, which colors do I use, which ones don't I use. I know for myself with makeup, eyeshadow, I love blue eyeshadow, but I don't wear it as much as I think I will. So I'm attracted to that color, but it doesn't mean that I always want it on my eyes. Obviously I'm wearing blue today, but I don't wear it all the time. So just learning to sort of go, just because I really like what a color looks like, doesn't mean I have to own it, doesn't mean I need that product. And for a lot of people, you're probably okay with that. That's just me. I realize that's a thing that I do. I am attracted to different colors. It doesn't mean I need it on me, or in another paint tube that I might already have the same color 50 times over. But that's going to be a little collage, little play around. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that in the summer break, which will be probably towards the end of December, which is, not that long away now. And the other project that I have in my mind that I'd like to do is create some images of different recipes. So my mum passed away a few years ago now, and I have a lot of her old recipe books, and a lot of them are handwritten. They're falling apart a little bit, and I'd like to take some of those recipes and create an artwork around it. So that's something that I'd like to work on. I keep thinking about it I haven't actually done anything about it yet. In a perfect world, which will never exist, but in the world that maybe I start this, I think I'd like to create a, almost like a medieval text of the recipes. So not just a recipe book, but a handwritten, I don't even know what they're called, but like a handwritten book with the different recipes. So it's a bit more like a, I don't know, spell book or something. That's a big project. I I'm obviously, look, I'm not good at calligraphy. I'm not that good at handwriting anymore because I type a lot, but uh, that's something I'd like to do. So we'll see. I might just, obviously, I'll be playing around to sort of see what I want to do. Do I want to put images of the ingredients? Do I just want to write the recipe in a different way? I don't know yet. Um, there's a lot of recipes there. I want to, maintain some of my mum's handwriting if I can. Um, but that's a project that is in the ethers in my mind, and maybe one day it might come to fruition. If it does, I'll keep everyone up to date. If you'd like to hear more, if you've got any ideas of what I might like to do, or if you know of any artists that may have already created something like that, that I could have a look for inspiration, that would be wonderful. But yeah, so other than that, that's really what I have been doing. And as I'm talking about this, I'm realizing I've kept creating more than I thought I have. So really, one of the best tips that I've found for me is even creating for 15 minutes. Like, I'll come home from work and maybe I'll sit down here and just play around with some paints, or I'll play around with some pencils or something. At least that's something, rather than me thinking I don't have time, because that all adds up. Like the fact that I've created 4 drawings. Now, maybe they're never going to be exhibited, maybe they will, I don't know. But I've still created something, which for me is a big thing, because it's been, apart from this course, it's almost been 20 years since I started, or since I last really focused on my artwork. And 20 years goes past really quickly, unfortunately. So if you're young watching this, don't feel like you need to block out a whole weekend to do something, or you need an hour, or even if you just sit down and start doodling on some paper, it's going to add up. 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it all adds up, and it keeps, the focus for you. The reason why I'm doing my art at the moment isn't really for anyone else. It's something that I've deprived myself, and I say deprived because I was focusing on, life, work, and they were all important things too. But that course has shown me that I can incorporate an art practice while I'm doing everything else. I just have to mentally let go of this perfect ideal that creating work means I'm sitting in a studio for a weekend with nothing else happening. And maybe there's the odd week in your world where you can do that. Maybe I might have a week like that sometimes, but 9 times out of 10, you're paying bills, you're cooking food, you're looking after your partner or your family or your pets, or you're just too tired and you really just need to look after yourself by resting. But you can still do something, and that something adds up. So I really want to be able to sort of continue that journey for myself in these videos, assuming I can keep the videos working and assuming that this is now recording properly. But that's it for me. And the next video will hopefully be going through all the pieces that I created and the sketchbook. But until next time, thanks everyone. Bye.